I can't help but look at myself and just start laughing. So we'll see if this video goes okay with this back of the computer sitting with the sun shining down on it. And yeah, what a day. And lots going on. But overall, I'm finding I started this work with Thomas Hubel about 9 months ago. And it seemed to me like it was kind of okay at first. I started with his collective healing conference, and I got a lot out of that, a lot of good changes. And out of that, I decided to, because I had an interest in it, go into the Ancestral Healing Code course, which was the 5 month course I did then from November through first part of April. And in that course, I was I was really working from October through April. I was really working with a tremendous amount of fear, and so I made a lot of videos when I was back in Michigan. And I went back to Michigan right at the start of the course, and I think I missed the first day and had to go back and watch the video and work with the energies. But it I have a friend who's having some rapid memory loss issues, and to the point where he's just not remembering his friend's name. It's happening really quickly, and I went back to see if I could rescue him. Really, literally, I flew back to Michigan and I did what I could, and he made choices, and uh, he is in many ways a brother to me. But he has a brother, and his brother's a nutritionist. But my friend Kim, he uh, he just has a beautiful heart, and I oftentimes say he's got a heart of gold and a brain of lead, and it's really true. He just, Vietnam War veteran, Agent Orange, Blue, Agent Green, Agent Yellow, dusting the foliage, trying to decrease the amount of vegetation so you could see people sneaking up on you with weapons. But basically, so many people came back from that war just messed up from Agent Orange. And I understand it took many of them 50 years before the cancers and the things kicked in. But there was all sorts of brain fog issues, and war will do that too. And then my friend didn't use any drugs, didn't drink any alcohol the 2 years he was in Vietnam. He just stayed away from it. He thought he had a better chance of living because he was in artillery. He had a better chance of living if he just didn't go go towards any of those things. So he basically had a real clean life in you know in clean life. 2 years in Vietnam, and then when he came back, he just kind of jumped into the job, the marriage, the children, and the divorce, and the children, and all of that. But I was unable to help him. I was unable to, um, I couldn't take control of his life. It wasn't appropriate. It wasn't my job. It wasn't my desire. It was my desire. It wasn't for me to make the decision about where he should live. It was up to him, and he decided to stay where he was. And then that, in some ways, that was a lovely experience for me because it freed me up. It helped me to let go of my need to take care of, and and allowed me to actually take the time while I was there to actually see all sorts of clients that I hadn't seen in years. One of whom then, this was in October, end of October, early November, I saw this client who I'd been seeing since around 1982, and it was 2024 when I was back there. So I'd been seeing this client for 42 years. It's amazing to have done anything for 42 years. But she just passed away just a week or two ago. And I'm really loving the opportunity to have these experiences of people passing away when my heart is just so open. And it's just so open currently. It's difficult to navigate these things. For me, I had a pretty open heart, but I had a pretty good boundary set up from childhood. Like, you're just not getting in that close. And I'm saying that to that mosquito right there, too. You're not getting in that close. I just wanted to touch base with y'all and just say I really understand there are so many things that appear to be going on an energetic level. So I had one phone call and one text message from people in Michigan who were maybe 10 miles away from each other, not very far away from each other. One calling about dark energies showing up, and the other one texting about dark energies showing up. And these, of course, all my friends are woo-woo people, but these aren't people that walk around looking for dark energies. They're just not. But they both recognize and both contact me on the same day. Only contacts I had that day. One phone call, one text message, both Michigan, both 10 miles apart, and both about dark energies. And they said, what's going on? And I said, the field is so strong that these, whatever you want to call them, I mean, we're making reality up, so make up what you want. I would say it this way. Thought forms or entities or who knows what they are. I don't know what they are. But we can give labels to them, names to them that kind of give you an idea. These are disincarnate, maybe they're beings, maybe they're souls, maybe they're injured souls that have gone into the earth to try to work. It's a great place to go into, I think. Go into the earth, help you work with your stuff. But the earth's getting too high vibe. And so that high vibe is kind of pushing them out of that home they've been in for who knows how long. And they're seeking where to go, what to do. And so my suggestion is if you're aware of some being, some entity, some force, use any of your contacts in the higher realm and just ask that they be taken to the light. And if they don't want to go, they won't, but they'll leave you because you're inviting them up. And just ask that they be taken to places of the highest good. And if that's the light, or if that's the heavenly darkness, because the darkness is the womb, the darkness is the place of creativity. So if the light's too bright, take them into that heavenly darkness. take them into that creative space where they can rewire themselves with the help of the beings that exist in those places. So there is the higher realm dark and the higher realm light. And look at my hands. One of them's in the light and the other one's in the dark. And there is these higher realm places for healing and recovery in mosquitoes. Anyway, invite them into the light. Invite them into the divine darkness, the place of creativity. Or invite their soul group to assist them to the place that would be in the highest good for them to go. Because fairly practical. I'm fairly kind of, I don't know if I could be put in a category of normal, but I'm fairly functional in the human physical realm. But I've worked in other realms in many lifetimes, and right now it's challenging. It's challenging for someone like me who's focused this lifetime on getting more awake and releasing and integrating the energies of disturbance, be they mine in this lifetime, mine from other lifetimes, or my ancestors' genetic traumas, that their epigenetics, where their traumas were connected into their genetic material, and when they combined that genetic material to produce me, that genetic material had various forms of trauma wired into the system. So that's the ancestral work. That's the epigenetic work. That's the work where we tune in deeper. And when we tune in to our deep self, that deep self resides in the core of our spine and in our cranium, in our brain and spinal cord. The deep self. When you feel movement within your spinal cord, when you feel a flow of life force, of life energy, you're feeling the movement of that deep self. And that deep self is fully connected with the higher self, and fully connected with the highest self, and fully connected with the body that is connected to the earth self. So the body we're in, it's of the earth. The being that we are, it's of the sky. And those two combine, and when they combine really within, in the center of our being, then we are connected to the flow of the earth and the flow of the higher realms. And then we are Windclill, because as we awaken, that's a Mayan word for human being. And as we awaken to the experience, not the belief, the experience that we are, connected to our higher self, connected to our highest self, that we are connected to the healing center of the earth, then we become aware that we are Windclill. We always have been Windclill, but we become aware of it as a physical experience, that we are cosmic vibratory root systems capable of bringing in those higher vibe energies into the earth. And in every healing field that we do together, at the very end, after we've cleared the energy of the field, and we're bringing in clear energy, we bring it into the healing center of the earth and we activate it. And that activation of that energies brings that energies out throughout the earth. We do it day after day after day, continuously throughout the day. We're clearing these disturbed events of the past and bringing in these higher realm energies for the uplifting of the whole planet and all humankind. And the, the animal kind doesn't need much upliftment. Most of the upliftment is needed by the human, um, the disconnected humans, where they're just disconnected from their soul, not completely, but some of them possibly, but not completely. They're just disconnected from their soul and their soul purpose. So we connect to ourself. We connect to our soul. We are a being, and we have a soul, and we have a body, and we, through our conscious awareness and our going inside, we connect more deeply to ourself as a physical body, as an emotional body, as a mental body, as a spiritual body. And that connection, as we resolve those things that kind of kept us disconnected, our attachment issues from childhood, we become more and more open to the flow. And as we become more and more open to the flow of energy, we get less disrupted by that flow. Sometimes it's not so easy, but we can go in to a situation that feels very disturbed and not get disturbed by it. We can also go in to get a situation that feels very disturbed and get disturbed by it. And in those cases, we have some things that we need to let go for ourselves. So we'll probably find ourselves actually, kind of taking on a little bit of that energy. And then we leave, we take it with us, and then we ground it out. And we ground out the energy related to it as well. And then pretty soon we just don't take on any of it. We just let it all just move through the system, and we just let it all flow, through the top, out the feet, through the top, out the feet, out the field, just opening up our emotional body, opening up our physical body, opening up our mental body, opening up our spiritual body. And then as our body gets more and more spacious, everything begins to fit. The world fits for us, we fit for the world, and we have, each time we achieve more connection. Each time we feel more of experience of ourselves, who we are, and at a certain point, we stop making excuses for being human. Like, why would you make excuses for being human when you're human? You're not only human. So when people say, I'm only human, they just are unawake. They just aren't aware that they're not only human. They're partly human, they're in a human body, but they are beings of the divine light and darkness. They're beings of both. And when those are held, and held in loving presence and brought into the body, and there's no more separation. We have individuation. That's one thing. That's perceiving the world from our eyes, hearing the world from our ears, smelling the world from our nose, tasting the world from our mouth, feeling the world from our physicality and our energy. We feel the world with our energy. And our vibe goes out into the world, and it comes back. And that's where our healing work is. When you are in love, not as a construct, or I should be in love, I should care for more people more deeply, I should. And then a friend of mine wrote a song, you can look it up. I think his name was David. But anyway, look it up. Don't Should on Me. And you can see it on YouTube, and he's probably performing it. He was a great guy. Don't should on me, and I won't should on you. Not should. Probably came from the world, telling you what you should do and who you should be. And if you were lucky, you said, "Oh, well, you want me to be whatever, this religion, that religion, this political party, that political party." He said, "Well, the world can want me to be any little thing. And I am an individuation of the cosmos. I'm a fractal of creation. And I'm here to bring it. And to share it. And to have compassion and curiosity and love and joy and peace. And the other energies, typically fear and grief and anger, are stuck. They're just stuck energies and they're uncomfortable. And when they're unstuck, they're love, peace, generosity, creativity, compassion, kindness. Kindness, I would say kindness is my favorite. When people are just naturally, maybe through training, but still naturally kind. They just say kind things. They just have kind thoughts. They just have kind hearts. Those are my people. So don't mess with them. Not that I would mess with you continuously in every video and everything I write. But only for the highest good. All right. I'm glad we can meet like this, and I'm glad I finally felt like I had integrated enough of that energy of the last week that I could just come on and say hi and share the garden room with you, and trying to look up and see if I could see anybody up in the upstairs bedroom, but can't see if anybody's moving up there right now. All right, it's a pleasure to be with you, and may all things continue to work to perfection, and may we all bring in the light and the dark of creation. Women.